In the heart of the bustling forest, where the trees stood tall and the flowers bloomed in a riot of colors, there was a tight-knit community of animals who lived in harmony. Among them was a hard-working bear named Benny. Benny was known far and wide for his love of honey. He had a special spot in the forest where he kept his precious stash, carefully collected from the best beehives around. One morning, as the sun filtered through the canopy, Benny lumbered over to his secret honey stash, his mouth watering at the thought of the sweet treat. But when he arrived, Benny was shocked to find that his honey was gone. Not a single drop remained. Benny's heart sank. He had worked so hard to gather that honey, and now it had vanished without a trace. Determined to find out what had happened, Benny decided to investigate. He knew he couldn't solve this mystery alone, so he enlisted the help of his clever friend, Detective Oliver the Owl. Oliver was the smartest animal in the forest, known for his sharp mind and keen sense of observation. When Benny explained the situation, Oliver nodded thoughtfully. "We'll solve this mystery, Benny. Let's start by examining the scene of the crime." The two friends headed to Benny's honey stash. Oliver carefully inspected the area, his eyes scanning for any clues. He noticed some footprints leading away from the stash, but they were unlike any footprints he had seen before. "These tracks are unusual," Oliver remarked. "They're not from any animal I know." Benny looked worried. "Do you think it could be an outsider?" "It's possible," Oliver replied. "But let's not jump to conclusions. We need to follow the tracks and see where they lead." The footprints led them deeper into the forest, to a part where the trees grew denser and the light dimmer. As they walked, Benny and Oliver encountered several forest animals who offered to help. There was Lucy the squirrel, who was quick and nimble, and could climb trees to get a better view. Freddy the fox, known for his cunning, joined them too, his sharp nose ready to sniff out any clues. As they ventured further, the group came across a peculiar sight. Stuck to a tree trunk was a small piece of honeycomb. Oliver examined it closely. "This honeycomb is fresh. The thief must have dropped it while making their escape." Lucy scampered up the tree, her sharp eyes scanning the area. "I see something up ahead," she called down. "It looks like a cave." The group hurried towards the cave. Outside the entrance, they found more pieces of honeycomb and sticky paw prints on the ground. Benny's heart pounded with a mix of hope and apprehension. Could the thief be inside, he wondered. Freddy approached the cave cautiously. "I'll go in first," he offered. "I can move quietly and see if it's safe." Freddy slipped into the cave, his ears perked and his nose twitching. Inside, it was dark and cool, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of honey. As his eyes adjusted to the darkness, Freddy saw jars of honey stacked against the walls. But before he could investigate further, a low growl echoed through the cave. Freddy backed out slowly and whispered to the others, "There's honey in there, but I also heard something. We need to be careful." Oliver nodded. "We need a plan. Benny, you and I will go in together. Lucy, you keep watch from the trees, and Freddy, be ready to help if we need it." With their plan in place, Benny and Oliver entered the cave. As they moved deeper inside, the growling grew louder. Suddenly, a large shape emerged from the shadows. It was a badger, and he didn't look happy. "Who are you, and what are you doing in my cave?" the badger demanded. "We're here to find Benny's missing honey," Oliver replied calmly. "It appears you have quite a stash of it here." The badger's eyes narrowed. "I found this honey. It was just sitting there, unguarded." Benny stepped forward. "That's my honey. I collected it myself. You had no right to take it." The badger looked surprised. "I didn't know it belonged to anyone. I thought it was abandoned." Oliver spoke gently. "It seems we have a misunderstanding. Benny didn't abandon his honey, it was stolen from him. But now that we've cleared that up, perhaps we can find a solution. The badger's expression softened. I'm sorry, Benny. I didn't mean to steal from you. I just love honey so much, and I've been having a hard time finding food lately. Benny's anger melted away. He could see that the badger wasn't a thief at heart, just a hungry animal trying to survive. I understand, Benny said. Why don't we share the honey? I have plenty, and we can help each other out. The badger's face lit up with gratitude. Thank you, Benny. I'd like that very much. With the mystery solved and a new friendship formed, Benny, Oliver, and the others helped the badger move the honey back to Benny's stash. They made sure to leave some for the badger, who promised to help Benny gather more honey in the future. As the sun set over the forest, Benny felt a warm glow in his heart. Not only had he found his missing honey, but he had also made a new friend. The forest seemed a little brighter, and the animals a little closer. From that day on, Benny, Oliver, and the badger worked together, sharing their resources and looking out for one another. The curious case of the missing honey had brought them all together, reminding them of the importance of kindness, understanding, and friendship.